Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain episode 431. I'm Andrew, and tonight we're going to start by talking about Nintendo and censorship. So, Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct earlier this week. This was one of their partner showcases, where they showcased their partners. And it was fine. I mean, nothing wrong with how it was constructed. None of the... Whatever you think of the individual games, the show was put together well. They actually showed the games. I don't think there was a single game in there where I looked at it and I went, what's the game, though? Right? Didn't get me excited about Nintendo. Didn't make me go, oh man, I gotta buy a Switch 2. But, you know, it was there. But, Chaos says, if I'm buying add-on content, it needs to be substantial. Before I started the show, I was bemoaning some pretty expensive DLC, or what I consider to be overpriced DLC. Yeah, I agree. Or at least be priced reasonably. If it's just a couple of costumes, I'm expecting like $1 or $1.99. You know? If I'm paying $11 for the deluxe upgrade or the deluxe edition or whatever, there better be some beefy... I mean, the game's $60 or $50 or I don't, whatever the hell it is. You know? We're talking, a good chunk of the MSRP. I expect a new area, a new level, the new gameplay, new stuff, But anyway. A Nintendo Direct. Says, watching the Nintendo Direct, and surprising no one, I guess, Resident Evil Requiem is coming to the Switch 2, and it looks like Resident Evil Requiem on a underpowered console. So, there you go. But hey, if it's the only console you have and you really want to play Resident Evil Requiem, there you go. But what I thought was really weird is, Leon couldn't hit the broadside of a barn in any of the gameplay footage. Like, the preview is showing the difference between, Grace Ashcroft and Leon Kennedy. They're like, oh, Grace is not really a fighter. She's better off kind of sticking to the shadows and sneaking around. Leon, on the other hand, is just a tank, and he's gonna whirlwind kick people and take the zombie's chainsaw away from him and lop his head off. And look, he's even got a sniper rifle that he can hit enemies from afar. And it shows Leon pull up a sniper rifle, and the camera zooms into the scope, and you see a zombie way over there, and he fires, and he misses by like 10 feet to the left, and then he adjusts his aim, and then he misses by like 10 feet to the right. I'm like, what the hell? And every shot that he takes in the game, he's shooting wide. Like, there's several scenes throughout the entire trailer of Leon, and maybe a couple with Grace, firing guns at zombies and never hitting them. And I realized it's because when a zombie gets hit with a bullet in that game, it goes into, sprays of red. It's a M-rated, gory game. And I guess Nintendo just wanted the Nintendo Partner Direct to be all ages. They didn't want it to be a E to M range. It's like, E to T, So they're still showing the game. You've still got gross little zombies in them, but... But it's like, and Leon, a professional zombie hunter, he's got a sniper rifle, and he misses by like 10 feet of either side with a sniper scope. And then I remembered, oh yeah, because they showed a trailer for the Indiana Jones game that came out a year ago and is coming out on the Switch too. And there was a segment where Indy is chasing some bad guys on a boat, and he's got a machine gun, and he's rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat, and he's shooting like the water below the boat. And there was another game. There was a dinosaur game where you're some lady who's trapped in a building with a bunch of dinosaurs. Well, dinosaurs and monstrous things. And this is actually a game where you can't fight back. You have to, well, you can like use the environment to manipulate a crane to drop a heavy cargo container on one of the monsters. But for the most part, you're not wandering around with guns. You're running away from dinos. And there was one scene where the dino catches the protagonist and seems to like bite around her. It's like jumped her but didn't make any contact. I think what happened is Nintendo said, "Hey, partners, you can have footage, but it's an all ages presentation. So if your game is M rated, totally cool. Just give us footage that doesn't have any blood or gore in it." Which I think is why that footage looked so weird. Also, it just doesn't technically it looks like a more high definition version of a game you might have seen on like the PlayStation 2. It's not particularly visually impressive, but it looks like it could be fun. It looks like what Code Violet was trying to be, just with less emphasis on the protagonist's backside. And more emphasis on actual fun game. So I just thought that was funny. And it's a weird conundrum, right? It's like, okay, well, we want our presentation to be for all audiences, but we really want to show off games like Resident Evil. I mean, those are huge games. What do we do? I guess make sure the protagonists have really crap aim. Buy these games. Help Leon not suck. Leon can't hit shit without your help. Lean into that. Chicago, hello. So, but I'm really looking forward to Resident Evil and playing it on a console that's not the Switch. Or the Switch 2, because I don't have it. So, man, it's rough, man. Because I look at all these games on the Switch and Switch 2. I look at the Switch and Switch 2 consoles and I'm like, yeah, man. At least it's not anywhere near as bad as it was on the GameCube, Wii, and Wii U, where multi-platform games almost never hit Nintendo consoles. Now, since the Switch, third-party games regularly do hit the Nintendo console. Just a year or so later, and in significantly less quality from a visual presentation standpoint. So if you can wait a year or so for a lesser quality presentation, you'll probably be able to play whatever game you want as long as it's not like a console exclusive. But hey, Nintendo, I mean, it's all about the it's all about the exclusives, like Donkey Kong Bonanza and Metroid Prime 4. I hear tell many people thought that game was perfectly okay. Needless to say, I'm not in the market for a Switch 2 yet. I mean, I'm sure I will get it at some point. I would like to play Donkey Kong Bonanza. It looks fun. It's never struck me as oh man, I need to play this, but it looks fun. Metroid Prime 4 looks fine. It doesn't look bad, but it also doesn't look great, which kind of bums me out. And I can't think of anything else in this coming to Switch 2 that I want to play. That's like literally it. Donkey Kong and Metroid. I'm sure there will be a Zelda. I'm sure there will be a Mario at some point, but still a Nintendo fan though. I mean, at least I consider myself one. Maybe others think my Nintendo fanboy card should be revoked at this point, but I'm still rooting for the big N, even when it makes dumb decisions. So, played some demos. Capcom has the Nintendo Direct. I think Was Pragmata? No, it wasn't Pragmata. It was Monster Hunter Stories. Maybe Pragmata was there too. I don't remember. Monster Hunter Stories was definitely there, and they're like, "Hey, demo," and I looked and I downloaded the demo on the PS5, and the Pragmata demo, which actually hit PC like a month or so ago, is available on consoles now. So I downloaded both Pragmata and Monster Hunter Stories 3. Um, and like I expected, the demo is the same demo that I think Capcom was showing off last summer. So this is a fairly old demo. But what I found really interesting about Pragmata is it's short. I can't remember the last time I played a demo that wasn't at least several hours long. I don't, man, back in my day, demos were like 20 minutes. Nowadays, they're like a humongous chunk of the opening of the game. Well, actually, that's not. I played the Yakuza 3 demo a week or two ago, which is longer than 20 minutes, but you're probably not gonna spend much more than maybe an hour, hour and a half on it. So, yeah. It's actually kind of nice, just getting a nice little bite-sized chunk rather than having to clear an entire Saturday for a demo. Jared, hey Jared, says, did you catch that there was a Falcom game in the showcase? Yeah, the not Tokyo Xanadu, it was a different city, right? Was it Kyoto? I think it was Kyoto Xanadu. What the hell is this gunk on my desk? Spilled some of my dinner, mayhaps. Yes, don't forget the Switch 2 exclusive Drag and Drive and Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Basically, it's like, oh, Andrew, says Nintendo, we're listening to you. And we're watching you. We have heard you complain endlessly for decades that you miss instruction manuals. And not just words on a page, you miss the art, the creativity that went into a good instruction manual. We watch your YouTube, Andrew, and we've seen you show off old instruction manuals from like the NES, Super NES, and N64 era, going, look how awesome this is! Why don't we have this anymore? Well, we've decided to bring back instruction manuals, but this time it's interactive, and we're charging you $10 for it. Well, back in my day, instruction manuals came with the game. Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, Mario Kart World? Is Mario Kart World? There's a Mario Kart on Switch 2, and if you like Mario Kart, I'm sure it's very good. I racing games just don't do it for me. I mean, I like Mario Kart in the same way that I like Smash Brothers. I have no interest in playing it, but I do like the games because they're full of, Nintendo history, and with Smash Brothers, broadly video game history. There was the Kirby game, Kirby Air Riders, which also I don't care about. There was, isn't there a Hyrule Warriors? I think there was a new Hyrule Warriors that came out last fall. That could be cool. Not a Switch yeah, the Tokyo or Kyoto Xanadu, I think it's called, not a Switch exclusive. So yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Mario Kart, $80, the quest for money. Yeah. Even President Scroob would be like, well, that seems a little steep. And now buy a can of air. What was I talking about? Demos. So Pragmata. This is the game that Capcom's been delaying for like the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah, 4 or 5 years. I think 2022 was like the first coming in 2022. So we probably first saw footage of this in like 21 or something. Um, yeah, this one's been it's been delayed several times, but it's still got the Ghost Cat in it. Not in the demo, sadly, but it still has Ghost Cat according to the last marketing push we saw, which makes me happy. Anyway, this is that game where you're a guy in a spacesuit and you've got a little robot girl in a blue jacket on your back, and she hacks robots so that you can shoot them in the face. I mean, if you shoot them, you can shoot them without her hacking them, but your little pea shooter doesn't do much damage. So you have to position yourself so that you can hack the robot real quick without it smacking you across the face, and then shoot it. The demo, it's fine. It shows potential, which I guess is what a demo should do, but or rather, it has potential. It doesn't really show it. Like, I could see where it's going. There wasn't much terribly interesting in the demo, but there was a lot of things that makes me think, this could be very cool. Um, I think the level design was actually quite good, which I was glad to see because the level in the demo is a little sterile and bland. You're just in kind of a shiny spaceship, and it's not particularly interesting looking. It's a little uh what adjective do I want to use? It's a little sterile. It's a little boring. It's very clean. It's not like a lived-in kind of spaceship. It looks like it just rolled right off the assembly line. It's very white. Um, so I was glad that the level design was quite good, so I never got lost. With bad level design in that level, every place looks like every other, you'd be lost. Now that said, it's not just monochromatic. There's some nice pops of color. There's some nice yellows and blues and reds, but I'm also sure from the marketing that I've seen that you don't spend the whole time on this space station. I also think that it's probably part of the aesthetic. This is supposed to be a cold, clinical, impersonal location, right? I get the sense that that's what the environment is trying to communicate as a part of the storytelling. I don't really have any context for the story, so who the hell knows? But I think the enemy design. I think you see like 4 different enemies. It's kind of a mixed bag. I think the mechs are pretty cool, but the regular robots are just kind of bland and boring looking. But again, I think that might be a narratively appropriate aesthetic choice. Hard to say at this point. They also do an interesting thing where when you beat the demo, which takes like 20 minutes, they're like, okay, now we're unlocking some stuff. So you can do like a Bayonetta witch time thing. So if a robot takes a swipe at you and you dodge at the last minute, you go into bullet time, or you slow down time briefly. Oh, well, that's kind of interesting. There's another thing that unlocks too. I forget what it is. There's a I think it's a new outfit. Um, the protagonists are a little chatty, but they're staying on the right side of the annoying line for me so far in the demo. Overall, I found it intriguing. I think it has a lot of potential. Looking forward to seeing some more. Looks like a more interactive Death Stranding. Perhaps. I've not played Death Stranding, mainly because it doesn't look very interactive. um, Death Stranding's the one where you just pick up boxes and hoof them across the environment, right? You're a pack mule. I I don't get it. It looks so boring to me. And but I know a lot of people really love that game, but I usually have pretty good instincts. If a game looks boring, I'm usually my gut is usually right. Not always, but usually I know my own taste. I think Death Stranding would probably bore the hell out of me. I bet I'd admire a lot about it, but I think overall I wouldn't really enjoy playing it. Um, kind of like Monster Hunter Stories 3. Um, I also played the demo for Monster Hunter Stories 3, which I hear is many hours long. I played it for about 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, and I'm done. I like Cohen films, Joel and Ethan Cohen. I think Monster Hunter Stories is just not for me. I love the aesthetic. I love the world, and I love seeing the monsters that I'm familiar with, or monsties. Ugh. Just hanging out. Like just wandering around the world and going, oh, I recognize that's an Aptonoth. Oh, that's a Downy Crake. Oh, yeah, right. I got to the main town and there was a Pookie Pookie and a Toby Kadachi just sleeping, just kind of snuggling together like two cats. I'm like, oh, that's the most adorable thing I've ever seen. I didn't know Pookie Pookie and Toby Kadachi were friends. Um, I think it's a very attractive game. I like the character design. I like the bright, colorful, cartoony presentation. I just don't like playing the game. I think it's boring as hell. I don't like the combat. The story I find completely uninteresting. To be fair, I'm only going with what I've seen in the demo. Um, Also, I found it surprisingly technically wanting. I don't know how old the demo is. Maybe these won't be problems in the full release. They think the game releases in March. Um, Monster Hunter Stories 3 has some of the worst pop-in I have ever seen in any video game ever. Like, um, characters, human characters and monster characters are called out of existence if the camera is not on them. So you could be looking at you see the weight set behind me? That's only like it's only like 7 or 8 feet behind me, right? Now, if we rotated the camera so that it was off screen and then rotated it back, it would be missing and then would slowly fade back into existence. From that, it is stunning. It I would be surprised if it's like completely dropping them from memory, but it's if the camera's not pointing at a character, it calls them out completely and does not redraw them until you aim the camera at the empty void that they occupy for like a second, and then they slowly fade back in like the game doesn't think you're gonna notice. They're like, oh shoot, that's my cue. Fade in. Haha! I do it real slow so you didn't notice me phase into existence. Ha ha ha! I'm sneaky. Oh no! No, I noticed. I noticed. It is so bad and so prevalent that I'm like, even if I really liked the gameplay, it's so distracting. I think that might put me off the game. On the bright side, Navarro is not in the game. There's another Palico cat, Rudy, who is not quite as annoying. So that's something. Death Stranding, the original title, UPS Simulator. Um, and it bums me out because I love Monster Hunter, but man, I tried playing Stories 2, and I just don't like it. I just don't like it. It's not for me. It's not a bad game, although the technical issue I described it's very bad. That's like what's the company's doing the Pokemon games? Game Freak. That's like Game Freak's 3D incompetence with like Pokemon Z to A and what was the other one where it just Oh, the open world 3D games that Game Freak's been doing the last couple of years that are like technically incompetent, right? Just this. What's amazing is it's graphically beautiful, except for like this bit. Like none of the characters will stay on screen. Ugh. All the little cutscenes for the various attacks in fights are really great. Like I'd happily watch a montage of the different monster attacks and stuff like that because they're beautifully animated and presented. But I just don't like playing the game. Um, oh well, I guess that saves me $50 or $60 or $70 or however the hell much it costs. Saved me a little time too, because I'm sure it's like a 100-hour RPG. Legends Arceus, thank you, Chicago. But lastly, one interesting thing I noticed with both the Capcom demos, both of them, before you start, ask you for your age. Not your birthday, your numerical age. Why? You can lie, you can put in 0, and it doesn't care. It does tell you you can't change this later. What's it for, Capcom? Like, I imagine it's probably just a demographics thing. Because if it was my birthday, I was like, oh, okay, so they just wish you a happy birthday, or they give you like a little, here's some extra monster materials for your birthday, yay. You know what, cool. But you don't just ask gamers their age, Capcom. It's rude. And it's creepy. Don't do that. Ugh. So anyway, I liked. I thought Pragmata had some potential, and Monster Hunter Stories had a surprising graphical issue, and unfortunately I think I just don't like Monster Hunter Stories. It's just not for me. Like Cohen films. Like I watched, if you follow me on social media, you saw I watched Honey Don't, which is not a Cohen Brothers film, but it was Ethan Cohen. And I didn't like it. I've seen 6 or so Cohen films, and I've not liked any of them. Like, I appreciate the film craft on display, but I've not liked any of the movies. And at some point I should probably just accept the fact that I just don't vibe with the Coen's filmic sensibilities. Um oh well. I don't like everything. There are some foods I don't like too. Oh well. So this week, I read in the news that Sony filed a patent, and it's very, very dumb. It's terrible. It depresses me. It's just a further direct, just the world moving in a direction that I don't like. So the name of the patent is LLM-based generative podcasts for gamers. LLM-based generative podcasts for gamers. Now, to be clear, just because someone has a patent doesn't mean they're actually going to do anything with it. They just filed a patent. That's all it is. It's Demon. Hello. Off topic, Pragmata demos on Switch 2 now. Okay, so it was. All right, I was like, wait a minute, was Pragmata also on the Switch 2? Because I was trying to, I knew Monster Hunter Stories 3 definitely was, but I was like, wait, was it Pragmata also? Or yeah, okay, so it's both of them. All right, cool. Anyway, so this patent is describing using generative AI to create a podcast starring video game protagonists. Like, I don't know, Nathan Drake or Kratos or Crash Bandicoot, trying to think of, Sony or Aloy from Horizon, right? So these would be, they're not like going to pay the voice actors of these characters money or writers to write a show and hire the voice actors to voice it or perform it. That could actually be really cool. No, no, that's not what this is. It's generative AI to generate Kratos and Aloy hosting a podcast of generated news or some other bullshit. That sounds terrible. I'm trying to imagine. I'm not sure if they mean like kind of like a 5-minute thing, like a short podcast, or like an hour-long podcast. What you would normally think of as a podcast. I mean, it's generative, so that they could easily just have it go for a complete hour. But my thought is like, who's this for? Who would actually listen to this? And the only people I can think who would actually be excited to listen to, oh my gosh, Kratos and Nathan Drake and Aloy are hosting a podcast? I need to watch that instead of playing video game. Well, I guess you could do both at the same time. The only people I can think of who might be really excited to that are the same type of people who'd be really excited to see, like, Mickey Mouse and Goofy at Disneyland, a performer in a costume. Small children. I think small children who are, oh my god, it's Mickey, the real Mickey. I think they might have a similar reaction to, oh my god, it's Lara Croft or whoever hosting a podcast that's tailored to me. To me, it sounds terrible. It sounds horrible. I hate it so much. Oh, going to Japan. Have fun, be safe. And try the mochi. But I think, to me, kind of the funniest thing about this whole patent, which let's read the background, which essentially is the abstract, right? As recognized herein, video game platforms currently lack the ability to provide unique and targeted content to gamers, to update the gamers about things that are happening on the platform. There are currently no adequate solutions to the foregoing computer-related technological problem. That's a lie! That's not true at all! That hasn't been true for a long, long time! What the hell are you talking about, Sony? Video game platforms currently lack the ability to provide unique and targeted content to gamers to update the gamers about things that are happening on the platform? Really? I think you're full of dog poo. Let's take a look, shall we? So here's my PS5 playing Claire Obscure here. Hey, what's that in the lower right over there? Oh, by golly, that's an advertisement pointing out that there's some DLC that I could buy. Not only is there DLC that I could buy for the game that I'm currently playing, targeting what I'm doing right now, but it also points out that it's on sale. So you should go there and get it now. Oh my heavens to Betsy. If we go to the home page, well, I turned off all the widgets, but oh look, there's a whole fucking widget for get updates from PlayStation and your followed games. There's one for stay up to date with the latest additions to PlayStation Plus. Check the latest deals, news releases, and more. I actually have here's the wish list. Anything you wish list, it'll cycle through news. Down here, look, news! Look at all this news! News! It's for me. It's targeting me. Why does it have this stuff here? Because I played that stuff. It's targeting me. I think we're all gonna... Is everyone sitting down? Because I know this is hard. But I think I've just uncovered an unfortunate truth. That we all need to be open-minded. We all need to be adults. And we all need to accept, as hard as I know it is for all of us, that Sony, a giant, international, multi-billion-dollar corporation, filed a patent and told a lie. I feel dirty. I need to go to 7 and buy a few tubs of ice cream and drown my sorrows. Can you drown your sorrows in ice cream? Well, you know what I mean. I thought we were friends, international multi-billion-dollar corporation. I thought we were tight. I thought I could trust you. I thought you had my best interests at heart, but you lied. In a patent that you didn't, send to me or anything, but, how can I ever trust you, international multi-billion-dollar corporation? Where's the trust? Oh, current video game platforms currently lack the ability to provide unique and targeted content to gamers to update their games about things that are happening on the platform. Sony! Fucking Nintendo's console does this. Not the Switch 2. The Switch does this. The Switch does this. That came out in 2017. Oh, you scamps. So I'm reading through the summary of the patent, and it's talking about various scenarios. That it could, the hosts, the generated hosts, could. The hell is on my cuff? The generated hosts could talk about what you're doing in a video game. Could talk about news, could talk about all kinds of different things. But my favorite sentence in all these paragraphs is this one right here. In certain instances, the audio may include a joke at the video game player's expense. So there's a non-zero chance that Aloy is going to emasculate me. Okay, I mean, gamers. Well known for being able to take a joke. Yep, just spend any time on social media. You'll find that gamers on the whole are pretty chill, pretty laid back. It's hard to get under their skin. What's does it let's see. Apparently I've got 58 hours in Clair Obscur. I have no idea how accurate that time thing is. Maybe Kratos would be like 58 hours in Clair Obscur. You suck. And I know. Why are you games done not games done quick. How long to beat? Says this game should take 35 hours. What the hell are you doing, boy? You know? Occasionally, the audio may include a joke at the player's expense. My mom's better at Dark Souls than you. God. I think you just need to look at E33 opinions to see that that's not true. The length of the game. I have not. Let's see. What is the how long to beat on it? Let's see. How long to beat.com. Claire obscure. 29 hours for the main story, but one, I'm slow, and also I like to do all the things. So let's say completionist, 67 hours. So I'm almost done. Maybe. I don't know. Hey, you want to see something funny? Because there's like pictures showing off examples of what they're talking about, of what they conceive of this this initiative to be. They've got fun pictures. Whoops. Oh, the request timed out. Well, that's not good. Hang on a second. Select a picture. Oh my god, I'm getting captured. Please select the picture with a fire truck. Okay. Can I look at the picture? There we go. Jesus. So, we've got a illustration here, which is like, okay, here's what you might see on your screen. You might see two hosts that are AI generated using the likeness and voice of the actors that we're not paying. They're going to be talking to you about stuff. And let me turn off the camera. This down here is probably really distracting. But what I think is really funny is the dialogue. Host 1. Jack Brown just won Trophy 532 in Space Explorers. You should try your hand at that game. Replies Host 2. Ha! If you think you have the skills... What? What? One host says to the other host, you should try your hand at that game. And she replies, ha, if you think you have the skills. If I think I have the skills for you to try your hand at that game? What the hell are you talking about, host number 2? Did an LLM chatbot generate your patent, Sony? Did it write this dialogue? Because, like, this is your example. This is a terrible example. That's... What's the other one say? The other one says, in other news, there's a software update for Gen X, so update now. Host 2 replies, also try a spin move on the boss next time. I guess that's a joke at the player's expense. You dumbass! Did you forget that Sonic can spin? Or Crash Bandicoot can spin? It's like the only thing he does. Well, he can jump, too. He jumps and spins. Maybe he can throw shit? I don't know. I never liked the Crash Bandicoot games. So, yeah, so this is not necessarily a thing that's going to happen, but, that's, no, sir. I don't like it. It also is just a stupid idea. It's sometimes a lot of times rather, you'll see companies invent or break something to sell you the solution. This is Sony just lying about a problem to sell a solution. Like, what this sounds like to I was talking earlier about who would actually listen to this, right? Like, are there many people who'd be like, oh man, I want to spend an hour out of my day listening to an AI generated podcast, which, I mean, honestly, anyone who wanted that could just do that now. Like, you could do that now. You could just with existing generative AI tools, you can make a really shitty podcast with I mean, it's probably not going to tie into your game history, so there's one difference right there. And unless you take the time to prompt it, it's like, I've been playing this and this and this, talk about this. Oh. What this comes across, I don't think, whether they do this or not, I don't think the idea is that gamers are actually interested in this in significant numbers. What this sounds like to me is, one, a justification for the billions of dollars they're dumping into AI bullshit, generative AI bullshit. And two, it's not something, I don't see this as something that's even targeting gamers. This is targeting investors. This is something that Sony execs want to take to their investors and go, look at this, we're making a podcast that we don't have to pay anybody for. Just endless generated content, num 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 num, and it's hosted by our own IP. And investors are like, oh my god, money, money, money. I think that's what this is. Because I think they're like, oh, this is a wonderfully stupid idea that investors will love. Yeah, probably. Probably. So, what are you doing with them several $billion you invested into Gen AI? Oh, we're doing this generative podcast that targets players and sometimes makes fun of them with their own user data that we stole from them, and it stars our own characters for our own IP. Oh, how much is that going to cost? Nothing, because we're not going to pay the actors for the likeness rights to their voice. Or, maybe they signed a contract saying like they own the voice too. I have no idea, but this is shit. I don't like it, and it makes me sad. The world doesn't revolve around me. 46 years, and I have not yet come to grips with that factoid. So, did you hear they remade Silent Night, Deadly Night? Again? Because they did. And I watched it. I've not seen all the Silent Night, Deadly Night films. I think I've seen, including this new one, maybe 3. I've seen the first 2. I don't think I've seen any of the others. But so if you've never seen it, Silent Night, Deadly Night is a Christmas slasher film from the 80s, where some traumatized kid sees a guy dressed as Santa kill his parents, so he grows up crazy and dresses up in Santa and kills people that he perceives as naughty. And, someone's like, I don't know, littering or sipping alcohol or says a naughty word or picks their nose in public. Naughty. And then he splits their head entwined with an axe. And then the second one is half made from footage from the first movie, so they didn't have to shoot much more. If I'm remembering the wraparound, is it's like the guy who plays Billy, whatever the killer's name is, has been caught, and I think the framing device is he's being interviewed by the police or psychologist or something, and so a good chunk, like a third of the movie, is flashing back to the original movie. But if you've ever seen that weird gif or clip of some guy pointing a gun at another guy going, "Garbage Day!" That's that movie. That's Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. So, But anyway, they made a second remake, and it's not so much a remake as a reimagining. Um, and it stars Rowan Campbell. Is that his name? This guy's gonna get pigeonholed as a mentally disturbed people because he played the mentally disturbed uh, co-lead of Halloween Kills. I think the name of the film was. Um, what else was he in? He played. He was an unbalanced guy in the Monkey Final Destination one. What was it? I think it's called The Monkey. And he had another one where he's dark and disturbed. So I think he's getting pigeonholed as that. So in this movie, kind of the same setup. Guy dressed as Santa killed his parents, and he grows up, and he's got kind of a ritual every December. He's got an advent calendar, and every day he has to go dress up as Santa and kill someone who's naughty. And so I guess he kills like 25 people every year. Um, and the idea is he goes to a town and he meets a girl, and she's kind of off her rocker too. And uh, they start dating and they start caring about each other. And oh, I can't let her into this evil part. And he's got a voice in his head that tells him who's naughty and who's nice. And there's some cool ideas here. It's pretty predictable. I think unless you're 12, if you're an adult and you've seen movies, you can probably guess where this is going. But I appreciate that they actually tried to do something original and unique and interesting. I don't think it was entirely successful. I think the script probably needed a few more passes to really dig into the meat of the themes that they were going for. Because there's some really interesting stuff. I just don't think it's presented in the best way possible. I also thought the gore and kills were a little underwhelming. Not boring, not horrible, but could have been goopier. What can I say? I'm a gorehound. Yeah, it's better than the first two. Like as just, I mean, it doesn't have that nostalgia factor, especially if you're my age, um, but it's probably the best of the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies, though it's not really a high bar to clear. The characters are likable. It's shot well, it's performed well. It's totally okay. Go ahead and there's a pull quote for the box. Yeah, it's totally okay. The best of a the best of a group of really terrible holiday slashers. There you go. So that's all I have on my list for tonight. Now I suppose I should go to 7-Eleven and get some ice cream to cry into as I bemoan the betrayal of the Sony, international multi-billion-dollar corporation that's supposed to be my friend and yours. But I guess what's the world coming to when you just can't trust a giant international multi-billion-dollar corporation? Can't trust him to tell the truth. Can't even trust him with your personal data. Sad. Okay, that's it out of me. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Tomorrow we are Cold Steel 2ing. Will we beat the game? No idea. I think we're at the final boss, or maybe we're at the top of the tower in the finale. This seems pretty final, so unless there's an extended epilogue, maybe we'll finish it tomorrow, or the rate I play, maybe another week. Who knows? Join in, drop by tomorrow at noon and join in the fun. So until then, everyone, have a good night. Take care. Bye bye.